Hi Steve, thank you so much for speaking to us. It's been a tricky couple of weeks, back-to-back losses, especially after that long unbeaten run. What's the mood like amongst the camp?
The mood's good. The girls are always pretty consistent with their mood. They're always pretty jovial, which makes them such a fun group to work with. So we were always conscious that at some point in this season we'd hit a little bit of adversity, and I think when you hit that little bit of adversity, it's a good opportunity to see what the levels of resilience are. And first appearances would suggest that they're very, very good. We had a disappointing probably first 50 away at Saracens, but managed to show enough grit to get ourselves 2 bonus points. And we actually had a very good first half against Bristol, and for a couple of reasons we didn't quite match that same level in the second half. But through the course of a Premiership season, you're going to have periods like that. And if it wasn't for the fact that we'd lost these 2 games on concurrent weekends, it would probably feel a little bit different, because bonus point losses away from home against the likes of Saracens and Bristol are generally perfectly respectable results through the course of the season. So it's not changed the mood. If anything, it's been a case of, well, this is probably what we needed. It sets us up nicely to go into this period of the end of the season when we know it's going to be really, really tough.
Created a lot against Bristol. There were a lot of opportunities there, and it was perhaps just the finishing that didn't quite go to plan. What do you put that down to? Is it just the length of the season is starting to catch up, and girls are finding it a bit hard to keep that consistency?
It's difficult to say. I mean, like, throughout any game, there's always going to be some individual errors. I suppose the frustrating part was that it felt like there was a handful of individual errors that probably came at real crucial moments. And again, contextually, if 2 or 3 of those mistakes happen perhaps earlier on in the game, they don't feel quite as significant. It was probably the nature of when they happened. And there was a couple of instances where we had opportunities, we weren't able to execute, and within a very, very short window of time, we gave momentum back to them. So things like with the second to last try, the final try we conceded was actually off an attacking opportunity for us, and big swings in momentum. But we still found a way to get ourselves back into it and give ourselves an opportunity to win. But for whatever reason, we weren't quite able to execute. But I don't think the error level was any higher than any other game. It probably just felt that those errors were so significant because of when they came.
Looking ahead then, back at Sandy Park this weekend, we've got a good crowd due in here. Is it important for you to see a bounce back in performance levels? Is it important for you to just get those points that you need in the context of the table? What's the messaging been like to the girls this week?
It's just about rebuilding momentum, because like I said, the results that we've had are far from disastrous. They're just slightly disappointing, but they're still defeats. And what we have to make sure is that we rebuild momentum for the final 2 league games, and then obviously the semi, which is already guaranteed. Now, in order to do that, we need to make sure that we put a very, very good performance together. And the first part of that is your preparation. And I just can't fault the way they've prepared this week. They've been on the money with everything that they've done, so they're certainly giving themselves the best chance of turning up and putting a performance together, which will hopefully allow us to build some momentum.
And looking at the team sheet, there's a couple of changes there. Brooke comes in at 9, Kate is out on the wing, showing that she's just about the most versatile player out there. Yeah. Can you talk us through a little bit some of the decision making there?
I mean, there's a couple of, I suppose, rotations, if you like, in that what we don't want to do is we don't want to go into the real high pressure rugby with people not having had minutes under their belt, because it's a big ask for someone. Just say, for argument's sake, there's an injury and someone has to coming out from the cold having not played for 4 or 5 weeks. This is an opportunity this weekend to actually get some of those players some pretty significant game time. So they've got that in the bank. First of all, should they perform to such a level that they earn the right to stay in? If that's not the case, they've still got some rugby under the belt should they be called on if there was an injury, for example, or a loss of form for someone else. So it's a case of trying to make sure that everyone's, I suppose, battle hardened for if they're called on at any given time, which obviously could happen.
Perfect. Well, we're all looking forward to it. Best of luck for the weekend, Stephen. Thanks for talking to us.
Cheers, pal.